Russia's top diplomat in the United Kingdom, Andrei Kelin, has refused to dismiss reports alleging the presence of Russian surveillance equipment in British waters, which may have been deployed to track the Royal Navy's nuclear-armed submarines. In an interview with BBC One, Kelin declined to deny the accusations outright, stating, "I am not going to deny it," and questioned the significance of Britain's nuclear arsenal, describing concerns as overblown. His comments came in the wake of an in-depth investigation by the Sunday Times, which revealed that British Defence Forces uncovered clandestine Russian sensors beneath the surrounding seas. Some were retrieved from beaches, while others were discovered during seabed sweeps conducted by mine-hunting vessels. Intelligence officials suspect these devices were planted to gather information on the UK's 4 Vanguard-class submarines, which serve as the backbone of Britain's underwater nuclear deterrence program. British defence officials regard the situation as a substantial security issue. They believe the sensors are designed to capture acoustic signatures or detect deployment activity of submarines that typically embark on 90-day missions from their base in Foss Lane, Scotland. The Ministry of Defence, MOD, has reassured the public that the UK's deterrent fleet continues to operate in stealth and remains effective. Authorities consider this operation a part of Russia's ongoing campaign of grey zone warfare, strategic acts of interference that stop short of open conflict. These actions include tampering with vital undersea infrastructure such as internet cables and energy pipelines. Over the past 15 months, 11 submarine communication cables in the Baltic Sea have suffered unexplained damage. In one incident, the UK deployed its Nordic Warden AI surveillance platform after a high-priority data cable linking Estonia and Finland, Estlink 2, sustained damage. Suspicions have been raised that such incidents may be linked to Russia's covert maritime fleet. Among these vessels is the Yentar, a ship equipped for deep-sea espionage and believed to serve military intelligence objectives. Yentar features submersibles capable of descending thousands of meters and robotic systems adept at manipulating or cutting undersea cables. The vessel has loitered near critical zones, including the Irish Sea, prompting a response from British warships such as HMS Somerset and HMS Tyne, while the nuclear-powered HMS Astute was reportedly tracking it from beneath the waves. The Royal Navy has noted a marked increase in Russian underwater maneuvers, with several unidentified vehicles spotted in proximity to UK infrastructure. Additional concerns have been raised about Russian-owned superyachts potentially engaging in reconnaissance missions, using moon pool technology to launch or retrieve underwater systems discreetly. One such episode led to an early departure of HMS Albion from Cyprus amid fears of electronic snooping by a nearby luxury vessel. There are now growing fears regarding the vulnerability of the UK's underwater infrastructure, which includes over 60 fiber-optic internet cables and numerous energy pipelines, some of which are not publicly mapped. These components form a critical part of national security and economic stability. According to officials, an orchestrated attack on these systems could cause significant disruption, with satellite networks unable to bear the full burden of diverted data. To combat these threats, the Royal Navy is increasingly relying on specialized vessels such as the RFA Proteus, which became operational in late 2023. Outfitted with a moon pool, deep-sea cranes, and a suite of remotely operated and autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, Proteus is central to Britain's maritime surveillance efforts. Naval teams on board have employed advanced systems like the Seacat and Gavia to perform extended operations at depth, scanning for anomalies and potential threats. Looking ahead, the UK aims to bolster its undersea defences through strategic partnerships and advanced projects. Under Project Cabot, collaboration between the defence sector and private industries is intended to further undersea threat detection. Additionally, the Atlantic Bastion Initiative envisions a network of surveillance assets across the North Atlantic. Plans also include acquiring a second ship akin to Proteus and developing uncrewed submarines via Project Cetus, alongside autonomous mine hunters through Project Ariadne. As discussions progress, UK defence officials have entertained the idea of reviving naval mine-laying capabilities, a practice shelved after the Cold War but recently reconsidered by countries like Australia and Poland. Currently, Britain operates only a single vessel capable of deep-sea monitoring against miniature submarines. This modern espionage campaign echoes Cold War tactics, during which Soviet trawlers operated covertly off the British coast to gather intelligence. These disguised vessels laid hydrophones and sonobuoys to detect and classify NATO submarine activity. The Royal Navy, in response, implemented a system of escorts, acoustic countermeasures, and aerial patrols to mitigate these risks. Analysts believe current Russian behavior follows a similar blueprint, focusing on the tracking of sonar arrays, mapping deployment routes, and possibly disrupting the UK's nuclear deterrence readiness. Historic examples include Soviet sonobuoys transmitting submarine data back to collection ships, a technique not far removed from today's suspected operations. Despite the escalating tensions, the UK Ministry of Defence maintains that the nation's nuclear deterrent is both safe and fully functional. A MOD spokesperson reaffirmed the government's stance, stating that British forces, alongside NATO and the Joint Expeditionary Force, are actively working to expose and counter Russian naval movements. By integrating AI-powered monitoring and enhancing cooperation with international allies, the UK seeks to ensure that foreign forces are unable to operate undetected in its maritime domain.